Aloha, Shelby Collins here of shelbycollins.com, and welcome to my vlog for Saturday. And today it's not, I won't say, okay, so I got a lot of stuff done in the yard, and I haven't talked about this before, but I'm going to today because it kind of got brought to a different level. And then I'm going to ask for all your positive vibes about this situation. And by the way, we're in my office, or what will be my office some point, but is not my office yet. But I'm pretending that we're getting closer. So I got a lot done in the yard today. And obviously I have lots of neighbors, okay? And I love all my neighbors but one. And it's one that lives right next door to me. And they've never been friendly from the day, like I got the vibe right away that they were not neighborly. And they park in front of my house like every single day. And I've been trying to not be irritated about it, okay? Because they have like 3 vehicles for the 2 of them, and they've got kids, and they're big vehicles. Like one's a minivan and one's like a big, huge diesel truck with the double wide tires in the back, and then like a Camaro. And they don't use their garage for any of the vehicles. And I am not going to tell you anything about what kind of neighbors they are. But today he parked his big truck like all the way up in front of my house until it was touching the front of my driveway. So like you couldn't see anything out my front of my house except for his truck. And he left it there at about 11:15. And about 2 o'clock, I felt like, and they had left or gone somewhere, and they never make any eye contact or say hello or anything. They're the only ones on the whole street that are like that. So I went to the other neighbor, my neighbor on the other side, who I like a lot. And I said, what's kind of the dealio with the parking? She says, it's kind of a free-for-all, but nobody usually parks like directly in front of somebody's house. And I'm like, see, okay. She's like, I've noticed that he does that. And he does it with this big plunger truck. I can't remember what the hell the name of it is. But he's got a huge company truck. That's not a truck. It's like a tanker that he parks in front of my house too. So I said to her, I'm going to put a note on his window. And she goes, I think that's a great idea. And I said, I'm telling you in case something happens to me. Because, again, I'm not going to tell you what kind of neighbor he is. But he has a temper, let's just say that. And I said, so I'm telling you in case anything happens to me. And so she's like, she kind of laughed. And she's like, okay, I'm your witness. So I wrote a note. And I wrote, if you could please not park in front of my house, that would be great. Thank you very much. Now, kind of looking back on it, because I'm not one to really review things for the sake of just reviewing it and making myself suffer over it. I mean, I guess you could kind of take it semi-snottily. Well, so his response at 5:45, when he finally went out to go to work, I believe, was to crumble it up and then tell his daughter, who's probably about 10 or 12, to come over and give it to me. So all of a sudden my front doorbell rings. I go and answer it, and it's her. And I said, what am I supposed to do with this, with the crumbled up piece of paper? And she's like, my dad said, it's yours. Okay. So I was kind of frustrated by that, if I'm 1,000% honest. And I'm really hoping that the tide turns, because I got 11 more and a half months here. And I'm sure he does too, because he just moved in like right before me, like 3 weeks, a month. And when I was talking to the other neighbor, she's like, have you tried talking to him? I go, he doesn't even, they don't even make eye, yeah, they don't make any eye contact with us either. Like everybody on the street kind of has the same vibe about them. So I mean, that was my day. So it's a little stressful. So if I look like I'm a little stressful, that's why. Unlike you, you look terrific. You always do. But like I said, I'm going to sleep on it and meditate on it. And really, really, really set the intention that he's not parked directly in front of my place tomorrow, just to kind of tell me to go screw. I don't know. I've never been unneighborly like that. If you have any advice, I would love to hear from you. You could please leave it below if you have any advice or suggestions. Or I was going to say, never mind. I won't even say what I was going to say. But it's very, I won't say it's stressful, but it's kind of stressful. Like you just don't want to not be, I mean, you don't have to like your neighbors, but you don't want to seriously dislike your neighbors, especially the ones that live right next to you. And I don't know, ladies, I'm sure you can appreciate this comment, but you know, now his wife knows that I know just what kind of guy he is. And no woman wants another woman to know when her guy's an asshole. And see, now I know for sure. And now she knows that I know for sure. So I'm pretty sure she's got to be embarrassed if she's at all sane. Which, you know, that's totally up for grabs. I'm not 1,000% sure. But, you know, like I said, no woman wants another woman to know that her husband's a prick. And so that's the story. So I guess, you know, just to be humorous about it, if anything should happen to me, then you know it was the neighbor. And it's the one that's got the Camaro, the white truck, and the minivan. Not the other one. I really like the other one. I really like all my neighbors, honestly. I live on a, you know, a great street for the most part. You know, everybody waves and smiles and says hello, except for that one house. And yeah, I'm not going to go in. Yeah. So I'm trying to stay as non-judgmental as I possibly can, but still, you know, it's kind of a, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm way off base. Again, we're talking like 15 feet from my front door, big, huge truck, his. Like I would never park in front of someone's front door. Like I just can't imagine doing that. And then like leaving, like maybe saying, can I park in front of your house for a little bit? I've got company. It's like totally fine, but I don't know. It's just such bad manners in my opinion. And this isn't even just a mainland thing. This is just like a anywhere you live thing, I think. I mean, I know that, I mean, I don't know. It's not like we have that kind of parking problem on this street. So that's my story for today. And I did get, oh, let me tell you this too. The dishwasher repairman showed up, who was, as I mentioned in previous videos, the same repairman who did my dishwasher. And let me tell you something. Well, it turns out there were issues, but the reason the dishwasher wasn't working is because there's some switch underneath the sink in an area that, I mean, I wish you could see where it was, that was not flipped. So while he was there, I mentioned the snow cone that's always being made in my freezer. And he's like, what do you mean snow cone? So I showed him, he's like, oh, so there's a seal that needs to be fixed on the door where the ice maker spits out the ice. So that's not right, he said. And come to find out, the soap thing, you know, like you put the dishwasher soap in and then you push the little lid down, that never popped up. So like when it was 3/4 of the way through, I looked and I opened it and I saw it was still shut. So I opened it and then I turned it all the way through to go back and kind of go wash again. And so I called the guy back to let him know, which he didn't answer. So I left him a voicemail and it didn't drain out the bottom. So there's still, the dishes did come out clean. So yay on that. But the soap dispenser doesn't open ever. And there's still like 3 inches of water or so in the bottom of the dishwasher. So I don't know what the story is on that. So he'll be back because he's going to replace that seal. And hopefully when he calls to schedule that appointment, I'll mention that I had called him back about the dishwasher. So yay on that. My sprinkler that I did replace yesterday with its new little teat to go into the sprinkler line worked like a champ. And I do want to say, I was up late last night publishing yesterday's vlog. And so I was up past midnight, and it is true. It does go off at midnight, and the sprinklers were then going off again. So, and I can't figure out how on earth. There's like nowhere. So needless to say, they're not going to run for a couple of days. I just have them off. But that mystery still continues. I mean, maybe I'll have to try and look online for a manual for it. But again, it says start times, and there's one start time, and it starts at midnight too. So I don't get it. I just do not get it. I mean, I've been a homeowner, I can't tell you how long, and I've never had trouble like this with sprinklers. And again, I really do look, now that I'm looking at it, like I look wiped out. I am wiped out. I'm a little, I don't like any kind of drama, you know. I'm a very happy, peaceful person. So when I'm feeling unpeaceful, it's like it's just not okay. So I'm trying to get back to my Zen place. And it's challenging at times. Today definitely is one of those days. So like I said, if you have any comments or suggestions about this or about anything to do with living in Hawaii, be sure to leave them below. And be sure to thumbs up this video if you would help me to keep the good juju vibes rolling. Thumbs it up. And subscribe to this channel if you haven't. And send me some good vibes about my neighbor. Whew. You know, it's like, God, this is, I don't, ugh. We just have to say, oh, I know it's going to work out. You know, maybe he'll have a change of heart after work. Maybe they had a rough day. I don't know. Yes, I do know. But I shall digress. Again, I hope you are as sensational as you look and that you've got something very fun planned for tomorrow. I am still unpacking and doing more putting away of stuff. You know, the bathroom stuff, I have a lot of bathroom stuff, you know, like face cream and then makeup stuff. And, oh, and, you know, you get sick of smelling cardboard too. So it's like just moving a box into a room. It's like, so I still haven't undone my office stuff, and I really need to find the printer. I'm looking at the boxes right now over here because here's some. Oh, look at all those boxes. I mean, oh my goodness. And there's boxes behind me. You see? Oh, more boxes there. It's just boxes. And most of it needs to be put together as well, too. And then not to mention, you know, your everyday cleaning as well. You know, like you got to keep cleaning in place. And then but I did get a lot of stuff done in the yard in terms of, you know, some overgrown stuff. I'm very proud of myself there. So that did make me feel fabulous. And, well, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Here's knowing that tomorrow will be an even brighter day. Remember, the Chinese New Year starts on the 28th, so you've got 2 full weeks, well, not 2 full weeks, just shy of 13 days to kind of finish up this 2016 energy. See, so I'm going to finish this up and then be ready for a new year. So if you got your little, I got lots of messages about the Starbucks Feng Shui card, and so many people sent me pictures of the ones that they got. So yay for you. And if you haven't or have no idea what I'm talking about, it's just a couple videos back. if I were better at editing, which I promise I will get, then I would put a link to it somewhere in this video. But they keep, every time I get decent about the YouTube editing, right, they change it. So I was really good. And then, you know, if you notice in the beginning of my videos, there was, my website was there and everything was really, and then they changed it and you couldn't do that anymore. And so it's like, you know, I just, with so many other things going in my life, I just can't keep up with these YouTube video editing things. So I promise I will get better on that. But just know it's not a strong suit of mine. So if you're here for the pop-ups, I don't know what to tell you about that. And with that being said, it sounds like my neighbor's home and that he's going to park in my driveway. So I hope you have a fabulous day. It really does sound like he's going to, I don't know where he is, in my driveway. And I will see you tomorrow. Mahalo so much for watching. Aloha.